The handshake between an industry and a government.
This deal was a big hurdle for Ottawa. It's the last piece of the plan for how Canada's big industries will reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. That Kyoto plan will be announced sometime next month. Margo McDermott, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, while Ottawa tries to make cars more fuel efficient, there are other smaller machines that also produce gas emissions. Small engines are a big part of the greenhouse gas problem. One man thinks he has an answer to that problem, but as Lynda Calvert reports, he's having a hard time getting anyone to listen.
About 20 minutes drive from St. John's, in the most unlikely of places, may lie part of the solution to Canada's smog problems. It's here that Glenn Knight repairs mufflers, and in his spare time tinkers and toys, and every once in a while invents things, such as these. They're a technology that for years no one believed could exist. Catalytic converters for small engines.
Actually, this unit would fit. You take this, this is the muffler in here. You take this muffler off, and it would be the same fitting on this, what this lawnmower requires, and it would fit on the side of the engine like that.
In the 12 years since Knight invented them, though, they've mostly been gathering dust.
We're giving Canada a chance to lead in the air quality control, and Canada would take a giant leap forward if they were to use a technology like ours.
Small engines such as those on lawnmowers or snowblowers or ATVs are big polluters. A Californian study showed one gas-powered lawnmower can spew out as much pollution as 40 cars in an hour. In total, Environment Canada blames small engines for about 10% of the harmful emissions that create air pollution. The Emissions Research Laboratory at Environment Canada tested Knight's invention. Peter Barton did the testing. It was almost 8 years ago, but he still clearly remembers the surprise of how well the thing worked. It reduced harmful emissions by 2/3.
Very effective at reducing emissions from small engines.
The chemistry and engineering departments at Memorial University then took those results, modeled them on current rates of air pollution, and found if catalytic muffler technology was used on small engines, Canada could cut overall harmful emissions by half.
It promised to do for lawnmowers and ATVs and similar vehicles what current technology has done for cars and trucks.
Knight tried to bring his technology to the attention of policymakers for years, without much luck. He's tried to get the attention of industry, too. Bombardier even tested one of his devices a few years back, but there's a cost. A catalytic converter like this would add about $15 to the price, and industry has argued that's too expensive.
Well, that's the whole problem. Nobody's going to spend money if they don't have to. If it's the same thing as licensing your car. If there was no legislation, you had to have your car licensed, who'd license it?
After years of promising to do something, Canada finally brought in legislation in January to regulate small engine emissions. But even Environment Canada's own scientist admits
The current exhaust emission standards in Canada are not so stringent that the engine manufacturers cannot meet them without a catalytic converter or any other exhaust after treatment.
It eliminated
And so, 12 years later, Knight isn't much further. And in those 12 years, the amount of air pollution hasn't changed, and greenhouse gases have increased. Knight says he has some of the answers to those problems, if only someone would ask him the questions. Lynda Calvert, CBC News, Pooch Cove, Newfoundland.
Rising gasoline prices are being